All right, shalom, shalom. Hey, Pastor Corey here with the Straightway Ministries of Straightway, Kansas City. And I'm glad to have you all come out and join us tonight. Of course, we are closing out the OIM series, and this is the OIM finale. And I have a special guest coming on tonight. You know, if you've read any of the dialogue, if you've been tuning in to the Saints or any of your friends, and you know that tonight we're going to have Pastor Charles Dowell on with us tonight. And we have a nice set of things we want to present to you all, but I want to submit this thought to your mind because we have a great deception going on, and we have many things that have been presented to us. And so the reason why we have done this OIM series, number one, is that Yeshua talked about the time of the Gentiles. And so as I look around, I begin to look and see all the effects that this rule is doing at this time. And in fact, you know, the OIM series has been put out, you know, so that we can do a good job at exposing the oppressor. All right. And when you begin to expose the oppressor, you begin to find out things that have you in bondage, you have me in bondage, and many others who really don't know what that oppression is. You know, when we look at enlarging that was talked about in Genesis 9:27, all right, and that enlarging has done much in terms of causing us as a people to fall under a place. One of the things he said that Japhet was going to enlarge his territory, all right, and he said he was going to dwell in the tents of Shem. And that's where we are right now. We have those Jews who say they are Jews but are not, dwelling in the tents of Shem. All right. And so this is where we are. You know, I want to make sure that you all have an understanding of that. Over the course of the series, we looked at the evidence of the oppressor and at the hand of the Gentiles in particular, in how, you know, they brought philosophies, they brought bondage to the mind frame of people. Every nation that they pillaged, they brought a philosophy and a mindset, all right, that has caused us to think a certain way, that has caused us to go away from our original culture. And so tonight, we want to be really instrumental in, you know, showing those things and providing you with those things. Again, I'm Pastor Corey, you know, here with Straightway, and I'm glad to bring on screen, you know, our shepherd, Pastor Charles Dowell. Pastor, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, Pastor. It's great to have you in tonight, and I'm excited about some of the things that we're going to be talking about, you know, here tonight. You know, most people who have gone through and looked at that OIM series, there's a number of things that you know, I'm going to address before we get to the questions, because it's highly important that people understand. You've been in this for a long time, right, Pastor?
Yes, sir. A little while, just a little while.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, you know, in our time and the time that I've heard you speak, and the time that I've come across just those messages, those fire messages that's coming from that pulpit, you know, I've heard clearly, you know, you've made a lot of us here in Kansas City believe that we're Israelites. You know, when I first came into this, I didn't quite understand how we was Israelites. It's just in my spirit, I knew what I was doing in Christianity. It never drew me in completely. It never drew me in to the point that I was at a understanding that this is where I'm supposed to be, you know, and this is what I'm supposed to allow my life to be a part of. And so listening to what you have said, listening to the things that you have brought forth, has allowed us to really, you know, get some understanding on that. And so my thing is this, all right, Pastor, and you know, I'm gonna bring this in. You know, as I looked at the Browns driver Briggs, and I looked at those things that was laid out, you know, as we saw the table of nations in Genesis 10.
Yep.
All right, Pastor. And so in that, it began to lay out the Gentile nation. And so we know that's one of the things that Yeshua said, that Jerusalem was going to be downtrodden. by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. All right. And so I believe that this is the time that they're downtrodden. As we look and see gay parades and, rainbows and, all of these other things that are taking place, in the land, it's evident that Jerusalem is being downtrodden in this time. And so I'm excited, about what we've been able to do so far over the course of the OIM series and bringing that to light, where us who are coming to the knowledge of truth, those who will be coming, can gravitate towards teachings that you have done, teachings that are being put out, that we can go back and hold on to this understanding, because we're going to need it, considering that the times are coming. The other thing, Pastor, that I looked at, now, I don't want this to sound racist, because I don't care who's out online watching this or who's tuned in to this, but we found that the landmass that the Japhetic line, the Gentiles, they were given a landmass that was near the Caucasus Mountains. Am I correct, Pastor Dow?
That's 100% correct.
That's 100% correct. And so as I've gone through this OIM series, Pastor Dow, I began to look at this enlarged, increased attitude. I began to see how this enlarged, increased attitude has caused oppression on people, and not only on the people, but they have done it to the people of Yah. Whether they knew it or not, they have done this with this, at great magnitudes, with the mindset that they have taken. All right. So, with that being said, I want to get right down to it, Pastor. I'm going to pull up our first question, and Pastor, however you feel that you want to answer this, I'm excited, to hear your take on it. And I'll just, put it before the people so they can see the question right there on the screen. But, I want to say, who are the real Gentiles in the earth, Pastor? Who are the real Gentiles from your standpoint?
If we're going to use the Bible as its own rule, litmus test, to be able to define for all of us who the Gentiles really truly are, which I believe is the best source in the world to use, because after all, it's the oldest book on this earth right now, and it has history that's dating back over 5,000 years, all the way to the early parts of antiquity. But I believe that the Bible, not only does it define itself, but it's its own definition in itself. And if people would, instead of going to these modern day philosophers, these modern day deceivers, psychologists, theologians, I mean, we even see exactly what's taking place today with these people who call themselves theologians. Before I get into answering that question for a second, people have to understand that everything in this Bible is coming to pass. All the prophecies, everything just like it said that it would. And when you go to Bereshit, all the way to the very beginning, and you go just a little bit after the flood, the thing that we all ignored when we started reading the Bible, we probably started in Matthew. We probably started over there, and the first thing we come across is genealogy. And so we start reading the genealogies, and then we get bored and skip and want to go right to the story. Come to find out that if you don't understand, if you don't comprehend who the genealogy of the Gentiles or who people are, and then we're going to be dealing with the same thing we've got going on today, role reversal, replacement theology. And when we have that, role reversal and replacement theology, we're going to be calling people Gentiles that are not Gentiles. We're going to be calling people Jews or Yahudites, so-called Jews that are not Jews. So from the very beginning, if we start there and we work our way forward, then we can easily clearly see who the real Gentiles are. Now, according to the Bible, over in Genesis, and I'm going to turn here real quick, make sure we read this with clarity. Over in Genesis, the 10th chapter, the first verse, it says, and I'm going to read from the King James Version, since it's one of the most popular versions that there is out there. Now, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Ham, and Japheth. All right. And unto them were sons born after the flood. And the sons of Japheth or Japhet is, check this out, Gomer, Magog, and Medal, Javan, which is the Greeks, Tubal and Meshach and Tartus, and the sons of Gomer, here it is, simply amazing, Ashkenaz. Now, you can't make this stuff up. It's already written about over in the book, Ashkenaz. But notice, these are the sons of Japhet, all right? And it says Rithbath and Togarmah, and the sons of Javan, Elash, Tarsus, Kittim, and Dildam. By these, talking about all the sons of Japhet, were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, and everyone after his tongue, after their families, some translators say after their clans and after their nations. So in the northern hemisphere, over there, what is commonly called Europe, this is where all the sons of Japhet migrated to. They migrated up in the cold Iceman regions up there in the earth. They are commonly, throughout the history have had many name changes, but they mostly focused on and centered on, Wessex, Gauls, Saxon, Vikings, Danes, Celts, Druids, all these people. They have metamorphosis from the sons of Japhet, what we read in the scriptures, to all of these. And they just so happen to be the Caucasians on the earth today. Now, there's nothing disparaging by telling the truth. It's remarkable what is taking place today. When we tell the truth and we bring out the truth because righteousness is reflecting on lies, people get offended. And I've watched this bizarre behavior take place with people, if not once, 1,000 times, that whenever you start upsetting the apple cart and taking people out of the mainstream of fairy tales and really truly pointing them to what the Bible says, too many times, more often than not, they end up experiencing anger at you for shining the light. So the real Gentiles, right now, if we fast forward to the day, is not only the Caucasians of this earth, but they're also the hypocritical people who claim to be Israelites, but they act like Gentiles, kind of like Peter, when Paul said that he was meant to be blamed, because one minute he was over here fooling around with the Gentiles, and then when the Jews come around, he was practicing dissimulation. And of course, then we go to the book of Maccabees. There's a lot of people that made themselves uncircumcised in the flesh. And they wanted to become Gentiles because of the oppression so bad. But the original Gentiles are the Caucasian people, or what is commonly called the white man today on this earth. There's nothing racist about that. There's nothing disparaging about that. It's just a biblical truth. What they have done is told us, because we have been robbed of a knowledge of self. We didn't know who we were. You and I right now, we don't have a state to back us up, Pastor. Right. A Mexican has Mexico. They have a state. A Puerto Rican has Puerto Rico. A Japanese has Japan. A Chinese has China. Most people, like Ron Young at the debate, he was so proud of his German heritage. We can't tell you where we come from because we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel scattered throughout all this earth. So what they've done is they have played a flim-flam on us when they robbed us of a knowledge of self, robbed us a knowledge of to be able to read and write, robbed us of a knowledge of being able to actually provide a dignified lifestyle of our families. They've turned around and taught us their native tongue, English, and then use the reverse psychology and the reverse of history and try to get our people to say that they are the Gentiles. And not only that, anybody else who is not an Ashkenazi Jew is so-called a Gentile. So the Gentiles is the white man of this earth. That's who the Gentiles pretty much is.
Exactly. All right, Pastor. And one thing that you said earlier, that they told us that we were Gentiles. And reason why I find a problem with that, Pastor, is this. See, when it come down to conversions, you know, being converted and people converting to the faith, when everybody is Gentiles, then you don't ever have the mindset to go back and search, to dig through history, to see where we're lost. And I know that, you know, Pastor, you were in the church just like I was. You know, was that one of the things that you were told, that you were a Gentile?
Yeah, even in apostolic church, in the holiness or arenas down in Leesville, Louisiana, where I came up at, it's commonplace that not only are the black people Gentiles, but everybody in America has been taught that they're Gentiles.
Right, right. So then on that same note, then knowing that we are Israelites, why would that be important for people to go back? Because that's the thing, you know, and also we have a event coming up where we're asking pastors, is it possible for us to be Israelites in this day? But from our standpoint here, why is it important to know that we're Israel, Pastor? Why is that important?
Well, if you change the message, you change the people. And no doubt the message has literally been changed. And when you start making the people and fitting them or trying to put them into this book and say that they are the people, when the truth is they're not the people, the message has changed, the people have changed, and no doubt the preaching has changed, the lifestyle has changed, the culture has changed. There are so many things that change when people try to practice replacement theology and put someone else in our place. Right. It's really bad. It's really bad because, you know, when you start uncovering these truths right here, I've watched the Gentiles, of the real Gentiles, the Caucasians, the Christians, especially here in the United States of America, rather than rejoicing that the real true Israelites are waking up, you know, because, I mean, after all, the prophet said that the day is coming when there's going to be a Gentile that's going to grab the skirt of one that is a Yehudi and say, we will go with you. We will go with you. And the prophet also said that, man, our fathers have surely inherited lies, vanity, and vain things. I mean, it's crazy what they have done with us with this reverse psychology. So if you watch the Ashkenazis or the white Caucasians here in the United States of America, they don't preach this message with the same passion that we preach it. They don't live this message with the same passion that we live it. I mean, we're zealous for the law. We love it with all our heart, kind of like King David did. Just love it. It is our breath. It's our life. It's our strength. I love his law so much because his law is his nemesia. His law is his breath. That's what it is. It's the essence of the Most High being breathed on us. And so when we come to who we are, just like the Most High said he would, that he will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. He'll pour out his spirit upon his people. He would wake us up in these last days and hours, and then he will cause us to prophesy. He will cause us to see visions and dream dreams. But not only that, he would also, we will be the people that would restore everything that has been lost. Repairs of the breach. That's what we are today. And so it makes no difference whether these people here or forbear. They can't stop what the Most High is doing because his people are waking up in groves. And not only that, you know, it's our job and our mission to tell people to come out of her, come out from among them, get away from all these people that are lying to the people out there. I mean, even in the Torah says that there was one law given to the homeborn and unto the stranger. Israel, we are the ones that's supposed to be doing the teachings of the nations, not the nations teaching us. That's the backwards problem right there. And when we're teaching the nations, you can guarantee truth will no longer be perishing in the land. When we're teaching the nations, everything that has been lost will be restored. When we are teaching not only our people, but the nations, we're fulfilling the very prophecy that the Most High said it wouldn't be. It won't be this prosperity doctrine, this naming and claiming 7 steps to a better you and your ship gonna come in. It ain't gonna be all that. It's gonna be the real true manifestations of the sons of Yah. And the people are gonna know who we are, because not only are we equipped with power and strength, but we got the Most High's backing with us and in front of us and all around us in every single thing that we do. So if you change the message like it's been changed through the religion of Christianity, You get fairy tales. You get lies. You get this circus. You get this dog and pony show to where people will vehemently go after all the things that the Moses and the prophets told us to stay away from. Y'all told you, all of us, don't add to or don't take away, don't diminish. So when the Gentiles get a hold of this, what do? They add to. They take it away. That's what they do. But when we come up on the scene, we tell them flat out, you don't add to this prophecy. You don't take away from this prophecy, but you do exactly what it says. Then you'll see the blessings of the Most High Yah. So in a nutshell, when Yah's people are preaching the truth, then it will draw everyone that is of the truth.
That's it, Pastor. You know, I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you because, you know, my passion is this, you know, and I was waiting for this moment because this is what I'm tired of. See, when you have the EJs, all right, when you have the Trayvons and you have the Mike Browns and the Philando Castilles and the long list, and you telling me that I'm a Gentile, and then, you know, you got people who are out here without a hope. Well, guess what? The spirit of Yah being on his word has caused me to come in and believe, because all I needed was a word of truth to be preached to me. Because, see, I approached this thing very rational when I was coming into the truth. That's why I didn't get sucked into the camps. That's why I didn't get sucked into groups. Because when I was younger, I've been around a Black Panther movement. When I was younger, I've been around the gang violence that's going on in the neighborhood. So I wasn't looking for groups. I was looking for truth. And the word has really thoroughly defined what the truth was. And I found it because I gravitated to what the word had promised to the people in the latter times. In Deuteronomy chapter 4, he spoke to the people that was in the latter time, that in the latter time they was going to return to the word of Yah. Once they returned, then we was going to be his people and he was going to be our Elohim. So you ain't going to tell me, so preaching Christianity really don't have no merit. There's no boundary to that having any bearing on what true believers should be, what they should be doing, and how they should live their life. Once you find out, Pastor, I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you. So way to lay that out, way to, you know, get it going. We're gonna keep it moving. And I'm excited that people get a chance to chime in on this. You know I'm getting excited. I know I'm ready to run through the screen, but this is just the plain old truth, Pastor, and people need to hear that. See, in fact, Pastor, you've been in the military, right?
Yes, sir.
And, you know, being in the military, you know, for yourself, you know, I know it's like, all right, you've been there and you've seen all the workings of the military. And that, to me, you know, I watch how people, when they go up in rank, when they go in to go up a pay grade. And to me, seeing what I've seen before I went into the military, it seems like people are under the hand of the oppressor even in the military, even when they go in and when they come out. What is your thoughts on that, Pastor?
Well, a lot of people, Pastor, don't know the history. You know, I often make a statement, a quote. I quote somebody all the time, somebody a whole lot more wiser than me. And I often say this over and over again, that those who don't know history are destined to repeat the same mistakes of the past. In World War II, you know, there was an airborne unit called the Triple Nickels, 555th. They were a Black parachute infantry regiment, of airborne unit. And at this time, the Army was segregated. It was segregated, and they didn't even want the blacks with the whites. They didn't want the blacks with the whites, Indian soldiers, because they didn't think that the blacks could soldier. But yet and still, in all these wars, the Civil War, all these other wars, they always wanted us in their wars, you follow me, to die for their causes. But anyway, they were so good because they were the first fire jumpers. They ended up being attached to the 82nd Airborne Division and 101st and a few other airborne divisions. But you wouldn't believe the things that they had to go through just in order to be so-called, quote unquote, accepted in the military. Then, of course, we'll skip past the Gulf of Tonkin and stuff, and we'll go straight to Nam. In Vietnam, you know, the first people that they were drafting in greater numbers than the Caucasians here in the United States of America, the melanated black people. They were sending them to Vietnam to go over there and fight and die for this country, only to come back to have dogs sicked on them if they made it back, if they didn't come back in a body bag, to be called nigger, to come back to segregated restaurants, restrooms, water fountains. I mean, the people, they don't know this history right here. And when you start bringing out all this stuff, you know, it's amazing that you often hear this. Can't we just move on? Can't we just turn the page? Can't we just forget the past and just try to go with today? But they always remember their history. They always bring up their history and stuff. And they always say, remember the Holocaust, but we can't remember ours. But in the military, when I was in there, everybody blood is green. That's what they say. But if you came in a racist, you are a racist when you still get in there. It's just that it's hidden a little bit more today, if you understand what I mean. It's just kind of like in the world today. You know, we got all these people out here that's the movers and shakers here on this earth. The rich people who oppress us and who rule over us to our own hurt. These people, they have traded the white Ku Klux Klan sheets for suits. And now they're ruling. Same thing in the military. The majority of the officers that are in there, and it is kind of unspoken, they will tell you they're not racist, but they really truly are. Is there discrimination there? Sure it is. Sure it is. You know, when you think about all the things that's going on in history right here, the one thing we've got to understand about this country right here is that this country right here has practiced systemic racism since they've occupied this land right here, since they've taken over this land. And by default, the whites in this land, by default, them being the majority in this country, according to history, all history is white history in this country. Now, I'm getting this to go full circle to get back to this military thing to show you what's going on. You see, I have to hit this from this perspective right here, because racism works on an individual level and a societal level. It works on an individual level and a societal level, and it's a learned behavior. It all depends on who's in charge. We are the minority here in this country. And I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, that there ain't no way that a minority can be racist against the majority. Because we have no power. We don't have any might. We don't have any, their laws are not our laws, but we're binded to their laws. We don't have any influence. There's nothing that I can say to a white person of notoriety in this country that would change their status any way, shape, fashion, or form. But if I get up here and go to one of their court systems and stuff, you know what's going to happen. We're not going to get no justice. There ain't no justice in there for us. So the same thing that is going on out in the civilian world, it's the same thing that's going on in the military. The same exact thing. They have the good old boy clubs, just like anybody else does. And it's really sad when you come to think about it, because, again, people hide it. Now, I'll give you an example. There are people who you would never, ever, ever think that is racist. You know, just the other day, we was looking at a video that somebody made about me and a bunch of other Israelites. All right. And when they made this video, you know what their major concern was? And I was the first one they put up there. You know what their major concern was, Pastor?
What's that, Pastor?
Their major concern is that white people are being drawn out of white churches and coming over to the black Hebrew Israelites. You see that? You see what I mean? And I keep telling people that the many white people are racist. They're racist as hell. Now, you get people like brother, you know, in this ministry right here, like Brother Patrick. I can go on and on and on. Brother Eric out there in Nebraska. I mean, passionate about this. Brother Brett down in Chattanooga. I can go on and on and on. Brother Steve up there in Canada. Man, you can go on and on and on. These people are very passionate about telling the truth and what the truth is. And they don't care who it is and what it is. They don't care who they tell, but they are not ashamed to let everybody know that the blacks are the Hebrews. Now, I've digressed a few times here, but there is systemic racism in the military. Not only that, it's systemic homosexuality now. And we didn't have all this stuff running rampant in my day because they just wasn't there. But it's there. Now, you know, I wrote something down for a second. I'm going to read this for a second if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Pastor.
We don't have institutional power in this country to be able to change or even be able to influence a system of racism. Everything that is associated with black in this country carries a negative connotation. And you start thinking about some of the things. You got blackmail, blackball. What color is angel food cake? It's white. What color is devil food cake? It's black. I mean, you start going through all of these lines right here, and then you take this homosexual named Cesare Borgia, and you put him up with his long, stringy hair, and you put him with his blue eyes, and of course the Apocrypha told you about they paint their images over him, and you paint people who it's obviously in the hieroglyphics over here that these are black folks. That's obvious. You can see the painting on the walls that the people that were in Egyptian captivity were black folks just like the Egyptians were. And you mean to tell me that you can't accept Christ, the Messiah, Yeshua, as a black man, but in order to appease your conscience, he got to be white in order for you to accept him? I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people on their way to a living, burning hell when they see this black man come busting through the clouds with white woolly hair. I'm telling you, it is. But I would tell you this, is that the underlying motive of all racism is the destruction of the psychological behavior that science and the oppression that we have went through has affected us. Have you seen that little video where they took this little black girl and they gave her a black doll and a white doll? Yep. And they asked the little black girl, which one is good? And she said, the white doll. And which one is evil? Said the black doll. You still there, Pastor? Look like your camera froze on me. All right. I don't know if we're still there. I'm going to still keep talking though until he comes back on or something. I don't have any chat room to see if he can see. Yes, sir. Okay. Uh-oh. What happened to Pastor? Is anybody in there? Can y'all still hear me? Say yes or no. I don't even know where you go to the live event. Or in the messenger. Somebody. But anyway. All right.
Pastor?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear you.
I can't see you.
All right. We should be good now.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. No, I can't see you, but as long as you can see me, we're fine. Hold on. I got you, Pastor.
All right. There we go. All right. Hallelujah.
So anyway, I finished it, Pastor, by saying there's racism in the military, just like there's racism in society, and just like there's racism in every facet of life. And the reason why that racism is there is because somebody is the oppressor, and when they slay the minorities, they hold themselves not guilty.
Exactly. You're exactly right, Pastor. You know, and here's the other thing about the military that, you know, these things, if you have any cognitive sense, all right, you should ask yourself, because these are things that get swept under the rug. You have the Tuskegee Airmen Project. Well, what in the hell is that? Well, that's when you just mass dump load disease and sickness on these people who put your badge of honor on their freaking collar, and then guess what? This is the thanks they get. See, somebody got to wake up. Somebody has to wake up, and this has been happening to our people from Black Wall Street to, I mean, we can go on, and nobody sees this. We got an attitude. If we would put ourselves in position to be better, no, Pastor, something is going on.
You know, Pastor, again, going back in history again. You know, when we went to Germany and we destroyed Germany, you know what they did, right? United States of America, right? They helped rebuild Germany and then put military bases there.
Right.
Almost every single place we've ever went in and destroyed, we've helped rebuild. And not only that, what is that rebuilding? It's reparations. It's reparation. Then people, I don't know why they get so upset when we start talking about making right the wrong.
Right.
When we start talking about what did we get for all these many years of chattel slavery? What did we get for it? Because we're the descendants of them. What did we get? We didn't get nothing. We was promised a 40 acres and a mule, and we never did get it. But they could rebuild Germany. They rebuild Japan. They rebuild Korea. They rebuild everything everything, but they ain't rebuilding us. They ain't rebuilding us at all.
Yep. That's why I can identify when the Most High says that he is going to deal swiftly with the oppressors, those who oppressed his people. I can receive that. You know, I don't care what nobody say. You know, they want you to go get a blood test. They want you to prove it. In fact, we were in Walmart, and Sister Jasmine was coming in at the door, and one of the doormen saw that she had that straightway Israelite hoodie on, you know, the one that says Israelite Advisory.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got to asking her all of these questions because, you know, it's like, how can you return to the law? Well, how can you be the people? I just can't, you know, his question was, I cannot believe it. Don't you believe in Christ? And so people are lost. They're lost.
Well, you know, Pastor, if you want to hide any truth from somebody, anybody, just put it in the book. And you know, people are not going to read Bible. They're not going to read the scriptures today. If it's in the book, you know that, I know that. But the people can't wrap their minds around it because they don't want to read it. And then when they do, they approach it through the wrong lenses. They approach it through the things that have been inserted into their minds, the way they've been pre-programmed, rather than actually approaching it with an open mind and reading it for what it says. So, you know, the blind lead the blind, and they all going to fall into the ditch. That's all there is to it. And if the Most High Yah is not opening their understanding, then he just simply ain't dealing with them.
Right. Exactly, Pastor. Exactly. And so, you know, now, you know, with what you're saying on here, people going to look at you, despite they can get on the website and look at the pictures and see how many people, you know, are attending the feast, who are coming the straight way. See, there's a mixed multitude of people. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. So, you know, here's my next question, Pastor. Are you racist? Or do people believe you are racist because of how you have uncovered, all right, much truth? Do people believe that about you?
They know that I'm telling the truth. And they always trying to, put titles and tags, disparaging titles and tags on my name simply because I'm bold enough to tell the truth. I'm totally unconcerned with the court of public opinion and what they think out there. What's going to stand in the end is the truth. Now, again, I'm not racist because I'm not in a position of power to be racist. I didn't set the system up. I've had racism perpetuated against me, and my people have had racism perpetuated against them. And if I am, by some stretch of imagination, racist, I learned it from somebody. It damn sure didn't come from my people. Because how in the world do the blacks in this country right here, who is less than 10% of the population, how are we responsible for all the racism and all the crime? And what the hell did we do to deserve all this type of beating on us? So no, I'm not racist. Just because people assert things, that doesn't mean that it's true. Now, again, today, you see that people, they don't care about truth. They don't care about facts. They don't even care about the testimony of witnesses and what they say. They're going to believe what they're going to believe, what they're going to believe. And I found out there's one thing, Pastor, the reason why they're comfortable in believing in what they believe. You want to know what it is?
What's that, Pastor?
They are afraid to change, because change and then the effects it's going to bring, you're going to experience Matthew chapter 10, where a man's own foes will be they of your own household. You're going to be called every name under the sun. Matter of fact, Yahshua said, woe unto you when men speak well of you. Man, they did that on them false prophets and everything. So people don't speak well of me, not because I've done anything to them, and not because of all the slander that is going on out there, and the lies that people are telling on me and against me. They hate me, and they want to try to put this title on me because I expose the truth, the historical truth of what's really truly going on, and I bring it to the association of what's happening still till today, so that people can see the connection and see that ain't nothing changed. Nothing has changed at all. I mean, technology has changed, but other than that, we still about under the same system of systemic racism. I give you an example. Here in the United States of America, whites have rights. You know what black people got? Civil rights. And there's a difference between rights and civil rights. You see, I understand all this stuff. I get it real clear. And when I speak truth to power, because it opens the minds of the people to be able to be sensitive towards knowledge, to be sensitive towards wisdom. And then they start thinking, because if you're only presented something a certain way, psychology, and they already know that your mind will go this way. If I say, Sunday is the Lord's day, you already know where everybody's minds go. But if I tell you that the Shabbat is the Messiah's day, if I tell you that, and then I tell you to look behind the word Shabbat, look behind the word first, you'll see Sabbaton. And then you'll start associating that with the scriptures and stuff. You'll see that I'm not the one that has reared people in fairy tales and lies. So no, I'm not the one that's racist just because I tell people the truth. It's just that the truth of history is ugly.
Right. It is, you know, Pastor, that is a very fine point, because the history is ugly, you know, and that's one of the things, you know, if people would go back and look at that OIM series really thorough.
They call you a racist.
Right. They'll call me a racist. I've had people, you know, one guy made a comment and said that he can't look at any of this because why go dig up, if I'm not racist, why go dig up history? We should move forward in progression that we have now each other, you know, and that's all of that baloney and all that old pork mindset that people want to have. And I don't agree with it. You can go back in history and look and see that there is in Florida a museum that have figurines of alligators eating on little black children. Well, guess what? That's what they was doing to black children when they was throwing them off the boats. All right, is that funny? Should we have figurines if we didn't let it be bygones? Why do we have a whole bunch of Gentiles standing around a zoo with black people standing behind the fence, and you standing there watching them with smiles on your face, and that's enjoyment and entertainment, and that is a mindset. That's ridiculous. And so, yeah, I'm going to keep digging it up. I'm going to keep bringing it out. You're going to get sick of me, because some people got to wake up, because we done just forgot. We done went to the NFL, the NBA, and we just went crazy, all right? And we don't even know who we are. So, they've given us a lifestyle to fit in, to be quiet, to soothe us. When you got people like us who down here raising and kicking up all kind of sand, and it's for your own good. It ain't that we want to go dig up. None of the brothers and sisters that's in the ministry, we do not run around talking like some of these other folks, especially these folks in the camp. They the ones that's going to be serving us. They are Israelites. Mm-hmm. See, the conversion is everybody coming under the banner that Christ has allowed the adoption to happen for both the Yahudim, the flesh, the children of the flesh, and those who Yah was going to use to make them jealous to come back. So everybody come under the same conversion, Pastor. That's simple.
You're right. You're 100% right. Let me hit on something here just for a second. Where, as you was going through history, the Americans in this country were very, they're very proud of their history, because we heard Ron Young talking about his history, right? Mm-hmm. They're very, very proud of their history, and boy, and it's amazing when they talk about it. And man, they love it. They love it and expect for you to fall in love with it. But as soon as you start talking about our history, all of a sudden, why you got to bring this up? Why you got to talk about it like that? I often tell people that one of my greatest American heroes is Nat Turner. Nat Turner. You know the reason why? Because he went and got justice. He went and killed a bunch of people for what they were doing against his people. What is wrong with that? There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's justice. That's what they would call it. Like, for instance, when Eisenhower went over and destroyed a lot of people and gave his word and stuff, they called him a hero. They pinned badges on him and medals on him, even made him a president of the United States of America. But then when we turn around and we kill the people who actually, and I'm not saying I'm going to go out there and inciting murder and go out there killing. That time is coming anyway, because the Most High Yah said that he's going to have all these nations blood up to the horse's bridle in the first place anyway. So when we turn around and defend ourselves, all of a sudden we vigilantes. All of a sudden we done lost our damn mind. All of a sudden something is done gone crazy. Are they out of their mind? I don't play that. I don't play that. But Pastor, we can exhaust that part of the subject until we blue in the face. But if people hear it, they'll hear it. The people ain't going to hear it. I make no apologies for their history, because a lot of times when I read stuff, like, for instance, if I read something out of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, or what we talked about earlier, Gentile, it usually means a non-Israelite people. Our people didn't write that.
Right.
Zondervan wrote that.
Yeah.
That's a white organization. White Jewish organization. We didn't write that about ourselves. They are writing the truth and telling you the truth. Oh, I tell you, it's bad. It's bad.
Yep, it's all through history. We are definitely coming down to the end of this, and I hope that this serves well to the ears. I don't know who all is going to come across this, who all has jumped on to listen, but they need to go back and really search through the things that we're saying, even the OIM series itself, because there's one thing that I found, because I had someone say this to me in the gym, not too long ago. So are you all better than everybody else? No, we didn't say that. Yah said we are the apple of his eye. So let me give you an example. I want to say this is in Jubilees, I believe in chapter 8. All right. And I'll make sure I get that and put that in the comments somewhere. I'll get that exactly. But the bottom line is that when the lots was given to Shem, Ham, and Japheth, all right, Japheth was given the great portion in the middle of the earth. It said the land that he was given was neither hot nor cold. The land that Ham was given was hot, and the land that Japheth was given was cold. So that's a great descriptor. But not only that, this is Yah set this up for Shem. All right, Shem also was given a portion where Mount Zion was, where you go look in it, where the Garden of Eden was. You was given the best portion for a reason. All right, and Yah took that and he made the Messiah come through that very line. All right. So those people who Yah chose through that, he had a desire, them his people. He's the potter. We the clay. We can't argue with him. But I know this, when you come back to the Most High. The word says, all right, that the ways of the righteous, all right, reproves the lives of the wicked.
That's right.
That's the way it is. That's the only way you ask a question like that. So people don't understand this. It's not that you're trying to go out and be better. You are striving to live right. And so these folks are caught up in homosexuality and LGBTQ and whatever else they doing. It's ridiculous. And I know one thing, that we who are striving for this righteousness, y'all listen to me, this is our time. You can't go back now. You are Israel. Don't go back. Don't turn. Don't worry about the questions. I don't care who watching this. I'm Israel.
That's
because
right.
I understand that book is setting out a lifestyle. You who are not Israel, you don't have a lifestyle. It's mixed up. It's a melting pot. It's, coexist. It's all these different things that don't give you a definite on how you should live before the people. Y'all's looking for that, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be that in the end, when all the kingdoms of this world is snatched out of the hands of these wicked rulers and is turned over to the Hamashiach, this is what it's going to be. All right? Yes, sir, Pastor. So,
they turn around, they ask me, are you better? I ask, because everybody got a cell phone today and everybody got a Bible on their cell phone. I tell them to turn to Deuteronomy 7:6. And it says, for you are a holy people unto Yahweh our Elohim. For Yahweh your Elohim have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Deuteronomy 7:6. So yeah, I'm above all people on the face of planet Earth. My status doesn't show it right now. You know what I mean? But I am the head and not the tail. That's just the truth. And we're gonna be ruling and reigning in the kingdom. And that's just all there is to it, man. Israel is rising. That's all there is to it. And I'm happy. I'm happy to know who I am now.
That's it. I'm right there with you, Pastor. We're gonna drop. I'm gonna drop just a couple more questions in there. One of the things, Pastor, is how has the rule of the Gentiles affected our people in this country? Not all over the world, not in other countries. I'm talking about right here on the American soil, Pastor. How is that?
There's a scripture over in Zechariah that says, who oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Ooh.
That's been our history in this country right here. Our blood is on the soil of this land right here. We built this country, and all these are the Gentiles. The white Caucasians are the Gentiles. They have mistreated us, used us, and abused us, raped us, robbed us, murdered us, lynched us, sodomized us, whole 9 yards. And we still are standing even through all of that. Still are standing, and even strong through all of that. Most nations would have been totally eliminated on something like that. But man, when you think about the history of this country right here, Pastor, our forefathers, our ancestors, we were forbidden to write, we were forbidden to read. You could get the death penalty, or either get the lash, get strapped up to a tree, and end up getting beat within the inch of your life with a horsewhip. There were so many things that we were robbed of. And then what did they do? They turned around and they put a coon, they put a house Negro who's been trained by the very oppressor and taught him how to preach and teach the word to us to believe in white Jesus. And then the next thing you know, when we come to, it's time, because all our people before us, they believed all this garbage and mess. They believe everything that's been crammed down our throat. Well, look, here we are now. We're 20 years after, almost 20 years after the turn of the millennium. All right. And it's no doubt that the churches are scared to death, because the truth is being run throughout this whole entire land, not only by us, but other Israelites. That's the reason why I don't never talk about or talk against them camps out there unless I get attacked, if you understand what I mean.
Yes, sir.
But man, this truth right here is that has been suppressed. It's now coming up, and look how strong that we bring this out now. So they have had a psychological effect so much on us that even our own people are afraid to come out of the churches because they have put so much fear in their hearts. They even turn around, like the other day, you listen to that snake that is spitting out all that fire and venom. That thing, I forget his name right now. Yeah, just lying on us left and right, just lying, period. Don't know nothing about us. But see, that's the fork-tongued serpent that they are. So we were forbidden to read and write. We were robbed of a knowledge of self. We didn't get our 40 acres and a mule. We fought through segregation. We've even in South Africa, even the Africans fought through apartheid. We fought through so many different things, and here we are. So how did the rule of the Gentiles affect our people in this country? Well, I'll tell you what has affected them. It's got them so much so to the point that our people call themselves out of their name. They call themselves Christians. They call themselves a pagan, satanic religion that does nothing but follow lies and fairy tales. And they are afraid. They're afraid of the oppressor because if they come out from these, then they're afraid they may not get the benefits of the oppressor. So fear is ruling big time amongst our people in this land right here. And not only that, they have trained us so well that even if you try to obey this Bible and keep the law, statutes, and commandments, they already have family members pre-programmed to attack you with the same comments that is already in their minds. You keep the commandments, you'll cope. You separate yourselves, you'll cope. But what does the book say? Come out of her, my people, and be ye separate, saith the Most High Yah, and touch not the unclean thing. So it had an effect, but now the scales are coming off our eyes. And it's coming off our eyes because Yah has put his spirit in us. And we're bold enough to speak truth to power, and they can't do nothing about it. And people are waking up, both black and white. I don't care what color or what nation they're coming from. They all are waking up at this truth, and they're loving it. And I love it too as well. So we are ones that have to reverse the psychological effects, the negative effects that has been put on our people. And the only way we can do that is continue to keep telling the truth.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Definitely, Pastor. Definitely. Well, this is what we're going to do, with this. Because we're coming down to the end. And, what we want to do, in this last question that I'm looking at, I'm going to make this the last one, and then we're going to, get on out of here, Pastor, because we didn't fed the people tonight. But, we look at religion, right? And, that, because you was talking on that, but I don't know if people really understand how the Gentiles affected people from the position of religion, especially Christianity, and I'm saying this, Pastor, because I look at how you said something earlier, how people are afraid to come out. But I look at all of this, what I call cooning and like you say, buck dancing. You look at this Joshua Holmes. I mean, folks are doing just unbelievable stuff in the church. I seen a video one time that said, do it for the vine. And then all of a sudden, all these people got to doing this little dance, and they dancing around, pastor falling on the floor, and they put a cape on this one guy. I couldn't believe it. And it's just amazing. I said, how is Yah subjecting himself to this and this be pleasing in his sight? So, Pastor, what has the Gentiles affected us from religion?
They have literally stripped us of a knowledge of self. I keep saying it over and over again, and I have to keep pounding it till our people don't know who they are. All we're doing is just telling them who they are. We're telling them you're not Gentiles like the people that have been training you all these many years. You are the real true people of the book, and they know it. And as long as they keep you as the ass and not the head, you're going to think like an ass. You're not going to think like the head. You're not going to think like the leader that you are. They have stripped you of a knowledge of self. I mean, you see it. I see it all the time. I look at the envy of our people. You see how people, they'll submit to a wicked white man quicker than they will a righteous black man. I mean, this is just some of the things that are going on. Even amongst our own people, they'll show more respect for a liar, somebody that fed them with lies, and then turn around and do nothing but just condemn a righteous man for loving them enough to telling them the truth. I tell people all the time, somebody got to love you more than you hate yourself. But you've got to get out of this mindset. And the only way you can get out of this mindset, you need some deliverance for real. But it's bad when people, it's really bad when you tell the people who you are. Brother Patrick, a white brother, right? He turns around and he tells our people who they are, and they sit and look at him like he crazy. No, I'm a Gentile. They will fight him tooth and nail. See, so the psychological effects is just, it's ingrained. It's almost like that Willie Lynch stuff, man. It's in there. And the only thing gonna bring it out is the truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, Pastor, I'm definitely glad we have a chance to lay this on the hearts of the people, especially seeing that we have those, you know, those old time churches. Them folks are stuck. I mean, they stuck wearing the big hats. They stuck in Easter. Ain't nobody getting nothing out of nothing. You know, it's only 10 members in the church. You know, I was looking at some videos. I mean, I would never step place in that arena ever again. And so, you know, I'm just praying, you know, with what we're going to do here in Kansas City in January on the 19th, you know, as we continue to send letters out, that people will come out and be bold enough to come out to that platform to hear truth. Because I know somebody, if they hear, because we, you know, and I know this, Pastor, you're not against the people that's in the churches. You wish they were here just like we heard. But you got to talk strong. I mean, you understand what I'm saying, Pastor?
This is a tough generation, Pastor. You see it. I mean, we're going from bad to worse. The prophet Isaiah said this was going to happen. He already called it. He told us how that the end times would be, and we are here. That a lie would become the truth, and the truth would become the lie, and good would become evil, and evil will become good. We're here.
Yep.
We're sitting up here. Think about this. You've got to be on some serious drugs. This is more powerful than crack, more powerful than heroin, more powerful than meth. Man, if you can look at that debate I just got finished doing in Green Bay. I told people nothing but the truth and the whole truth. So help me, Yah. And you sit and watch these people still associate with devils. And I mean, and kept on saying that they love it. They just off of the chain. And when our people is doing it, man, it's really bad. It's really bad that they would hate us, and they will go out there to these lying bootlickers like TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, all these other big time so-called preachers. They ain't no big time preachers. They're big time liars, big time charlatans and seducers. But when you tell people what Yahshua said, John 14:15, if you love me, then keep my commandments. Oh, we ain't under that law. How do you say that without, you can't be reading the Bible? And how do you still, with all the information out here, you're going to go out here and you're going to put a damn tree in your house, and you're going to deck that damn thing with silver and gold, and you're going to put presents under, and you're going to tell your child a lie who you don't want them to lie to you, but you're going to lie to them. You're going to tell them that Santa Claus coming to town. You better be good. You better be nice. You're all this other junk. And you do it with passion. You do Easter with passion. There's nothing but lies. But we tell you, keep Yah's feast and obey them. Our people are sick. It's a serious drug. I believe we've given the people the red pill. It's just if you want it or not. I mean, all we offer you is the truth. All we offer you is the truth. But I'm telling you, man, it's not discouraging, because the Most High said it was going to be like it. He only going to save a remnant anyway.
Yep.
I know what they know in these Christian churches. That's why it's so easy for us to debate them. it ain't nothing to debate. You're going to find out who's of the book and who ain't of the book if you just listen. But,
Yes,
but Pastor, man, I think that we keep on shouting to the rooftops, make no difference whether they hear or forbear. Just keep on shouting it, keep on telling it. And then you don't hear it, shake the dust off your feet, move on to the next one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, bless you. We thank you. And we thank all of you all for coming in, being with us tonight, sharing, in this information. Very, very, very edifying, to have you on, Pastor. I mean, it brought joy to my heart because I remember, we have all of this stuff right here that we got tonight on Facebook. I just remember you preaching truth, right there on YouTube. I saw the videos. We were right there, me and my house. We was right there. When time to pray, we bowing down. Time to sing, we jumping around right in our house. And this is where we at because we heard truth and we know that, Pastor, you are a preacher of righteousness in this current generation. We thank you and we bless you, Pastor.
All right. Bless you, Pastor Corey. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shalom, shalom. Well, hey, Israel, I want to say this, as we get ready to close out, we have a very good broadcast coming up tomorrow night with Sister Ashley and Mother Jennifer. Very, very edifying. I know Brother Steve is going to put all the information down in the comments. We also then Friday night, we can hear Pastor Dowell again on Blog Talk and then on straightwaytruth.com or also on Facebook on the Israelite Heritage of Straightway under the Facebook banner. We also have our Sabbath service and on online-church.org. You get a chance to tune in to our service and hear Pastor Dowell and hear what's coming forth from this ministry. And also, I want to thank Pastor Dowell the other day for putting up a shout out, our promo video for the Trilogy app. And, if you have an opportunity to go out and visit our website at trilogyexplosion.com. You can go in, fill in your information and receive our Trilogy app. And then also call, text this number, 913-815-0290. Again, that's 913-815-0290. Text Crunch, and we'll get you in our Crunch challenge. And I just want to shout out to Brother Myron. He's already done well over 5,000 crunches already. The contest just started, and this guy is really getting at it. So we're having a good time with that, just being amongst the saints and being a part of that. And you all have a very, very blessed night. Be covered in the blood of Yahshua HaMashiach. Let nobody steal this from you in this time. You all are important to the Most High Yah because we are the ones that was prophesied about to carry this message to the ends of the earth. Hey, you all be blessed. I'm Pastor Corey with the Straightway Ministries of Straightway, Kansas City. Shalom, shalom.